Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Go Circular Pioneers virtual talks. Today our guest is Goetz Erhardt, who is a Senior Managing Director in Accenture's Industry Strategy Consultation Organization. He has over 25 years of consulting experience, and he currently focuses on topics like energy transition, circular economy, enterprise performance improvement, and digital transformation in the business-to-business markets. Goetz, welcome, and great to have you with us today.
Thank you very much, Kauka.
During this episodes, we will discuss what is driving the shift towards the circularity. And my question would be to Goetz, with the increase of brand owner commitments and regulation heating up the pressure, can you share with us on the details of these drivers of the circularity and why do we need to get ready?
Yes, so brand owner voluntary commitments are an important facet of the circular economy. And this relates to multiple polymers. Probably the most prominent is Coca-Cola for PET recycling content or recycled material used in their PET bottles. But virtually quite a lot of the brand owners, regardless if they're from beauty and home care, like the giants like Henkel, Beiersdorf, Procter & Gamble, they do not only have clearly committed recycling content quota for the next 10 years, but they're also looking into novel packaging models, such as refill or other packaging solutions. So I think the brand owner commitments need to be taken very serious because they require recycled and predominantly mechanically recycled material, regardless if it's polyethylene, if it's polystyrene for food grade. So there is clearly a high demand by the brand owners to change from virgin material to recycled material. In addition, you mentioned the regulatory environment, and we have seen that regulatory pressures are increasing, not only in terms of banning certain applications, especially single-use plastics, but also as part of the overall eco-strategies, which relate to climate protection, but also to circular solutions. Governments globally, and especially in the developed economies, are looking either at specific applications or material content, or trying to close the loop by means of policy incentives. So again, that is one of the key drivers of circularity, and that in conjunction with the climate protection policies, where especially the European Union just recently announced a further step up of the 2050 objectives on the way to getting to carbon neutrality. This clearly also incorporates the polymer sector in all of its facets. So that is probably the second big driver, as I mentioned, in conjunction with the climate protection activities. As we all know, regardless if it's chemical recycling or mechanical recycling, it is important to solve for better sortation, and a lot of innovation is actually coming from sortation equipment manufacturers. It requires a better reverse logistics to achieve a sort of reasonable carbon footprint of the overall recycling chain. And it is also driven by quite substantial technology innovations and improvements. Just think about the money which is invested in recycling or recycling-related startups. The number is increasing day in, day out. I think the last time I looked at it, it was over 850 million. It's still, I mean, by comparison, it could be higher, but this is technological innovation, which is not early stage, but close to commercialization stage. And take that in conjunction with brand owner R&D efforts for new packaging and circular solutions, for chemical industry innovations and technical solutions, which are leaving the lab with equipment manufacturer innovations for better sortation and basically getting to very discreetly and very good sorted waste streams that then will, in conjunction with the reverse logistics, will also lead to a potentially new or shared asset footprint to basically feed the sorted volumes into recycling facilities, which are able to produce and manufacture enough of recycled materials for food grade applications, for PET bottles, and for other packaging solutions. So that is basically driving the market. And lastly, consumer sentiment is changing. Every year we are conducting a large cross-sectional consumer panel globally, where we look at sort of the main changes in consumer sentiment. And one of the most apparent facts about the changing sentiment is the increased willingness to pay that consumers have for ecologically friendly or sustainable solutions. So that will also clearly change not only consumer behavior, brand owner behavior and brand owner policies and strategies. So ultimately what we will see is that the world of recycling is much more colorful than the current industry shape. There will be, and I think no industry player has any doubts about it, some of the things might work, some of the things will work, and some of the things will have a clear breakthrough in terms of initiatives. But we're seeing a substantial change and driven by major factors and major forces. So circularity is here to stay. What's also apparent, nobody can do it on his or her own. It requires new partnerships and collaborations, and it requires a close connection between the physical world of polymers, production, use, end of life cycle, recycling and closing the loop, and digital technologies, which are able to track and trace by different tags the material throughout their entire life cycle.
Yeah. Thanks, Goetz, for sharing this with us. So there are lots of different activities, right, in the field of the circular economy. So what do you think? Are we doing enough at the moment to achieve the committed targets? In your opinion?
I think what is changing, I mean, you can always debate whether good is good enough or sort of what's the difference between good and great. What makes me quite confident that there is a substantial change is the sincerity as well as the dedication of the entire industry, right? From brand owners, chemical manufacturers, policymakers alike. We need to solve for this equation. I think also what is good is the level of investment is increasing, and that investment means technological innovation. And I think if we harness this, the overall sort of attitude by all players and dedication and the potential of digital technologies, I'm pretty confident that the circular economy will take off, especially in polymers.
Optimistic view, more. I like that. Good. So thank you for this. I just want to remind our audience that Goetz is our keynote speaker at the upcoming Go Circular virtual summit on the 10th and 11th of March. Goetz, thanks once again, and I look forward to your presentation.
Thank you very much, Gauka.
Thank you.